Okay, so today we're going to do simultaneous equations, elimination method. So this is another video in which the variables have different coefficients. So in other words, it's a harder example. If you didn't see our first video, please look at the link in the description below. So essentially, you can't use the elimination method if the coefficients of the variable you choose aren't equal or aren't the same. So in this case, let's take the let's take the variable of x. Our variable in this case, the one we selected or the one we would like to eliminate, is x. But we cannot choose the elimination method if the coefficients of x aren't the same. So how do we make the coefficients of x the same? So let me write the equation again first. 2x plus y is equal to 12. 3x plus 2y is equal to 19. So in the elimination method, when they have different coefficients, first of all, the first step you do is you choose your variable, the one you would want to eliminate. In this case, the variable we want to eliminate is x. So you take the coefficient of x in the second equation and place it in front of the first equation. And you take the coefficient of x in the first equation and place it in front of the second equation. Now what this means is you multiply the whole equation, each term in the equation, by the coefficient of x of the second equation, in this case 3, and you multiply the whole equation by 2, which is the coefficient of x in the first equation. Let's see how that would look. So we have 3 times 2, which is 6x, plus 3 times y, 3y, which is equal to 36. And 2 times 3 is 6x, plus 2 times 2 is 4y. So you get 6x plus 4y, which is equal to 38. Now in this case, we have seen that the coefficient of x is equal. And that's a condition when you want to use the elimination method. So since the coefficients of the variable we want to eliminate are equal, we can use the elimination method. So let's write the new equation, or the new simultaneous equations again. 6x plus 3y is equal to 36, and 6x plus 4y is equal to 38. So just so you don't get confused, how about we label the equations? This will be equation 1, this will be equation 2, this will be equation Roman 1, and this will be equation Roman 2. So you always use the Roman number equations because those are the ones that have the coefficients, similar coefficients. So over here, remember in elimination method, we can either add or subtract the equations. So in this case, adding it would give us 12x, but subtracting it would eliminate it because 6x minus 6x is 0, and you always minus it vertically. Remember this, it was mentioned in my previous video. So 6x minus 6x will become 0x. 3y minus 4y is negative y. Pay attention to the signs. It's 3y minus 4y. It's a smaller number minus a bigger number. This will always give you a negative value, which is negative 4y. Negative y. So 0x minus y is equal to 36 minus 38, negative 2. 0x is eliminated. So this is negative y is equal to negative 2. Now when you have negatives on both sides of the equation, you can divide both sides by negative 1 and the other side by negative 1. And the negatives cancel out because a negative divided by a negative is always a positive. And since you're dividing both sides by the same thing, and your end result will be the same, it doesn't affect your answer. So your y is equal to 2. Another reason why you divide both sides by negative 1 is because you're looking for y, not negative y. So to eliminate this negative, we divide both sides by negative 1 in order to get rid of this negative. In other words, if only the right hand side, in this case the answer was negative, we wouldn't divide both sides by negative. because we only want our y to be positive. So now to prove our answer, I'm going to make a small section over here and write down the equation we would want to use. So I always like using the first equation. So in this case it will be 2x plus y is equal to 12. What's our y? Our y is 2. So you substitute 2, this 2 with this y. So it'll be 2x plus 2, that will be equal to 12. And in this case you want to make x the subject, meaning you want x to remain on one side of the equation. So your first step is to take 2 to the other side. And when you take 2 to the other side, the sign changes. It becomes 2x is equal to 12 minus 2. The positive sign changed to a negative sign. And 12 minus 2 is 10, so 2x will be equal to 10. Now to get x on the left hand side, we divide both sides by 2. The 2 cancels out and x will be equal to 5. You simplify it by 2, by 1, because 2 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 5 is 10. So your final answers are y is equal to 2 and x is equal to 5.